So I'm sure you know there was a slap incident at the Oscars last night. Let's talk about it on A Cup of Joe. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, and if you like this video, click the like button. Thank you. So yes, everyone's talking about the big slap incident at the Oscars, and I'm going to do it too. But it's important that, number one, I limit my comments because I'm only going to talk about so many aspects of this. And two, it's important that we recognize what the Oscars is supposed to be about, which is recognizing the craft. And so first and foremost, I want to recognize Dune and Encanto for winning Best VFX and Best Animated. Congratulations to everyone there. Sorry to all the friends who didn't win. There's a lot of people up for awards last night. I'm also going to discuss a little story that relates to my experience in the workplace and whether or not I slapped somebody for speaking ill of my wife. The slap was not just as simple as a slap. Given that this was over a joke about an historically marginalized black women's medical condition, and the fact that the guy who's telling the joke is known for making a documentary about the importance of hair and black identity in women, I have no standing or context to really be able to comment on most of the dynamics of what was happening last night. Let's be honest. However, what I can comment on is being professionally appropriate, regardless of what the reasoning is. You have to maintain a certain level of professionalism when you're at a professional event or in the workplace. And obviously, in this case, it was not professionally appropriate behavior. I had friends last night who were at the Oscars. Some of them were nominated. Some won, some didn't. If any of those folks did anything like what Will Smith did, they certainly would be banned from the Oscars. They probably would have been arrested. It would have been a pretty bad scene for them. And not only would it have been bad for them from the Oscars perspective, but those folks are all there working for a studio. They're in the workplace when they're at the Oscars. They're working. They're representing a studio. They need to abide by the same standards in the workplace as they would at any event where they're representing the company, and really any place where they're representing themselves professionally. It is reasonable to assume that violence in the workplace is unacceptable. That should be a universal truth no matter what the workplace. So let me tell you a story. My wife and I worked at the same studio. We worked at a few different studios together. At this one studio, a woman was fired, and the boyfriend of this woman, who also worked at the studio, was pretty convinced that my wife and someone else she worked with were the reason she got fired. This person actually confronted my wife in a public workplace environment in front of other people and loudly yelled at her and accused her of having this person fired. Entirely inappropriate, top to bottom. Made her cry. She came and talked to me about it later. It was a pretty messed up situation. That very next morning, I was called out to go visit this person to deal with a technical issue they were having. So here we are, one night later, I'm there the very next morning having to help this person succeed at their job and solve their technical issues. Now, what did I want to do when I wanted to roll up there? I wanted to slap the beep out of him, but I didn't. I didn't because it would be professionally inappropriate in the workplace. That was one of the reasons. But the other reason is my wife is a strong woman who doesn't need her husband out there slapping people in her defense for her honor. We're beyond that. We're in the 20th century and now the 21st century. That type of chivalry is not needed in the workplace. And there's been multiple times where we've worked in the same workplace where we wanted to come to the defense of the other person, but it wasn't professionally appropriate. So we did not. And that's really the take home here, is regardless of whether or not he should have told the joke, shouldn't have told the joke, whether or not he was defending his wife, whether or not he feels that he needs to defend the world, it doesn't matter to me. You have to behave in a professionally appropriate way in the workplace. And that can be a real wide spectrum of what's professionally appropriate. But what's outside of that spectrum is violence. You simply can't bring violence into the workplace, be it the Oscars, be it the studio, be it your local McDonald's. It just doesn't matter. No violence in the workplace ever. Maybe you disagree. Maybe this is going to create a bunch of comments. Maybe, hopefully, it doesn't. This is just my opinion. There's certainly enough opinions out there about this today. But I just wanted to give my 2 cents. And most importantly, it was the Oscars. Congratulations to all the winners. It was really great to see so many people with talent win this year. That's it. That's my opinion on a Cup of Joe today. See you later.